Zero and Amy in the 194 Morning Playhouse. Now, when you have a kid, obviously you don't want them leaving the house in something inappropriate. That's just true year-round, right?
I mean, yeah, I think you want to make sure that they're covered up pretty good.
Did you ever get the old, you're not leaving the house and that from your parents?
I never really wore anything too wild, I would like to think. I think it was kind of normal clothing items.
Well, every once in a while, you got to lay down the law, right? And you would think that maybe there's certain days are going to be harder than others. And if you're like Halloween would be maybe a little bit more difficult, you would be right. Such is the case in today's Am I the Jerk?
Jerk, 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 jerk.
All right. Wonder if he's the jerk. Mark is kind of concerned because it sounds like your daughter's got some Halloween festivities this weekend, has a costume in mind, but you're not a fan. Kind of laid out for us.
Yeah, man. So, with Halloween, our 13-year-old daughter has, kind of hinted that she's interested in, sexual costumes this year, like sexy witch or, sexy nurse. And, so I completely blew a gasket. And I told her that I refuse to let her wear something that I think is inappropriate for a 13-year-old girl. And so my wife comes to me and she tells me that I'm ruining her Halloween experience and that I shouldn't control what my daughter puts on her body. And I don't know. I kind of want to know if I'm being a jerk here.
All right. Well, it's pretty short and sweet. We'll get you some feedback and see what you think after you hear it, okay?
I appreciate that.
All right. What you thinking there, Amy K?
So looking at it, I'm like, wow, that seems so young, 13. But I had to look it up. That's like a 7th grader. When I was in 8th grade, my parents, I don't think it wasn't obviously their idea. It was my idea, but they allowed it. I was a Hooters girl.
Hey, what? 13?
In 8th grade.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, we wore the tights under the orange shorts, but my dad drove me to Hooters to get the costume, but a large group of us girls were all Hooter girls. So I want to say I think it's young, but at the same time, when I was that age, I wanted to do that as well. So I think let her do it. Just watch and make sure there are things that she's covered with. I had a sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm. Every fiber of my dad being wants to say that's too young and cheer you on there, Mark. But there's one thing that I kind of has me going, well, maybe not. And that is that your wife, Mom, seems so comfortable with it. So it makes me wonder if it's as bad as you feel like it is, that Mom's so supportive. And she might be a better judge, maybe.
And what else are they doing? It was a group of girls and we were just hanging out at one of the girls' houses. We weren't doing anything
That's
bad.
true. Obviously, she's not going to the bar. She's 13, right? Probably just hanging out in a friend's basement. Who's all going to be there is probably a question. Mm-hmm. There's maybe some things that make it more appropriate or not appropriate depending on the situation.
And that's what I think. My parents knew, oh my gosh, she's just going to her friend's house. It's all girls. They're all going as the same thing. We thought we were the coolest girls ever.
And we're thinking jerk or not a jerk from trying to put the kibosh on the daughter's sexy nurse or witch costume.
I think 13 is way too young. I think he's totally right. I mean, even if she wants to be a nurse, she could be a cute nurse, but a sexy nurse, I think she's got to be, I don't know, at least 17. 13's become 18 nowadays. And I just think it's crazy.
Well, there's different levels of the sex appeal with these costumes too, right? Is it just oh, okay, so I don't know a lot of witches that have skirts like that, or is it you're half naked? There's not all the same.
How sexy, yeah.
What's that website you always talk about when we talk about stuff like this?
I don't
Just because
always
you've
talk
seen
about
the
it.
stories.
Okay, Yandy.
Is it lingerie or is it a cute costume?
That's what some of them are, just shorter dresses, bodycon dresses. Some of them look like it's a bikini.
You know how you have, that's your homepage on your Internet Explorer.
Yeah, that's where I'm buying
Yandy.
all my stuff.
I just bought my clothes there now. Is he being the jerk if he's nope, sorry, you're absolutely not wearing that 13-year-old daughter. No sexy witch, no sexy nurse. 237, it's caller text. Stargazing in the playoffs. 194.
You're a jerk. You're a jerk. You're a jerk. You're a
Y94 Morning Playhouse, middle of Am I the Jerk? Playhouse family member Mark today. And, is he a jerk and maybe just being overprotective? Or is he like the only smart person in the household is really the question here. People are kind of side with the guy, actually.
Yeah, someone said, I agree with the dad. She's too young to dress provocatively. My oldest is 16 and would never. She's dressing as an angel this year.
Oh.
Someone else said, he's not the jerk. I would also blow my lid if my 13-year-old wanted to be anything sexy. Someone else said, the mom's the jerk for going off on him. Not the jerk, way too young.
Now, if maybe you just got settled down in the office, got in the car, and they're like, wait, 13-year-old sexy. What are we talking about? Quick recap of Mark's problem here and why he thinks he might be the jerk.
Yeah, man. So, with Halloween, our 13-year-old daughter has, kind of hinted that she's interested in, sexual costumes this year, like sexy witch or, sexy nurse. And, so I completely blew a gasket. And I told her that I refuse to let her wear something that I think is inappropriate for a 13-year-old girl. And so my wife comes to me and she tells me that I'm ruining her Halloween experience and that I shouldn't control what my daughter puts on her body. And I don't know. I kind of want to know if I'm being a jerk here.
Is he being the jerk? Do you think so or no?
No, I don't think he is. Let's be real here. There's a lot of killings and all that going on. Why are you walking out here with this provocative-looking costume on for? You can find something that's more decent, and they won't get you trapped in someone's car like you're on Elm Street or something.
Right. I assume you kind of assume the worst, right? When you picture your daughter going out like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And granted, a lot of people are asking, what is she doing? If it's something where it's just her peers at somebody's house, maybe it's not as bad. That would be maybe the escape.
Yeah. Someone said, though, that the daughter is probably a diva and the mom is burned out from arguing with her, and that's why she said yes. Another person said that he is a jerk, and she's going to wear it either way. When this person was in high school, she said, maybe I was 16 or 17, I went as a prostitute for Halloween. Not what I left the house in, but what I went out in. I changed at a friend's house. Not really a proud moment of mine, but I wore something else that my parents okayed and then brought a change of clothing.
Hey, Mark, if you take anything from this, no could be worse.
Right.
You got that much. You thinking he's a jerk or not a jerk in this one? Being a little bit firm on he's not liking this Halloween costume idea for his 13-year-old daughter.
No, he's not being a jerk. You have to look out for your children. I mean, Jesus. In this day and age, especially with people online influencing your child's mind, just let them be a kid as long as they can. Rein that crap in. No.
Yeah, you know what? Unless maybe I'm missing some of these text messages, it seems like overall people are like, yeah, way to put the law down, Dad.
Yeah, and this one is surprising. Someone texted in and said, my 15-year-old was in the car with me listening and thought the dad was not being a jerk. So even one of her peers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, someone else said, not the jerk, stand your ground. Your concerns are completely valid. She'll get over it eventually.
That sounds like you're in the clear here, man. Just stand your ground, I guess.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.